Hey everybody, welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. Today in the news, we got some Bitcoin acceptance by Donald Trump, question mark. We're going to be talking about Reddit, getting into some crypto, and then also we've got a very, very special guest in the house today, Jenna X. We're going to be looking at them charts. We're going to be looking at the economic data. We're going to be looking at everything because knowledge is profit. Guys, class is in session. Let's get it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We come at you every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. Welcome to everybody that is here right now in the audience. We appreciate you being here. Guys, if you haven't done so and you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, get notified every time we go live. And if you get any value out of today's content, hit the like. It helps. Share the video. We love that. Guys, I have my team here today. First off, we've got TradeFly and OC guy, but we're not alone. And did you guys notice? Did you guys see below? Did you guys, TradeFly, OC, did you see below at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
We have
the ticker.
We have a ticker people now. So first off, there is that. But most importantly, we have my wingman in the house today, guys. I want to go ahead and bring my wingman up. And I love doing shows when I have people that are like just they strike a chord in my soul with background in history. And that's my wingman. If you guys don't know, Jenna X, former Air Force. I was in the Army. So therefore, she's my wingman for life and good friend and fantastic content creator. Jenna, welcome to the Piper Academy.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on. I love watching you guys in the morning. I'm always learning from you and OC guy and TradeFly. I love it so much. So I'm excited to be here, my homie.
Yes, awesome. Jenna, I want to apologize up front because typically I just noticed I normally do different color outlines for my guests that match their theme, and yours is in Crypto Millie's colors still. So I'm sorry. Yeah, but I think the power of Jenna X could actually fix this for us a little bit. So what I need you to do is look at the camera and say, I'm Jenna X and this is Piper Academy, and then snap your fingers for me. Let's see if we can Jennify the Piper Academy today. You ready?
Let's try it.
Go for it.
I'm ready. I'm Jenna X and this is Piper Academy.
And there we go. Wow, look at that, guys. Jenna X, you have made everything pink now. So we are ready to go on with the show today, guys. Jenna, pink in honor of Jenna X being the guest today. So we will gone all out for you to roll out the pink carpet for Jenna X in the Piper Academy. TradeFly, OC, what's up, guys? How you guys been?
What's going on, man? Dude, loving the ticker, loving the setup. Jenna, thank you for joining us. That's truly appreciated. For everyone in the chat, thank you. You know I'm about to stir it up with you. That's kind of my thing. But yeah, happy to be here. Let's get this party started.
All right, let's do it. OC, you got anything before we go hit the news? Because we got some news to drop, man.
Let's get into the news. Just want to really say thank you guys for being here. Also, remember to smash that like button and also remember to grab your coffee on the morning. So let's get started.
Awesome. Let's do it. Jenna's got it. Big cup over there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the news today. Today's news brought to you by Decrypted.tax. They are my tax professional that I use. They are also the one that the show uses for the LLC. Ernest over there doing great work in the tax side. He's a tax attorney and a tax accountant. So he knows his stuff. He trades in crypto. He knows all the ins and outs and all the tax laws. So when you need a trusted official for your taxes, keep the IRS away at bay, go check out the man, the myth, the legend, Ernest. Tell him that the Academy sent you, and he will give you a free consultation and 25% off using the link down below. Let's get into the news though, guys. Taking a look at the news here, we got the crypto bubbles today, guys. Looking at AGIX, still pumping up 20% on the daily chart. Flare up 15.8. So my Flare bag is very happy. It's over 200% to the upside already as it is. Render still making some moves today. Filecoin, Fetch AI, but we do have some pullback on the other side of the market and getting a lot of red, especially if here on the weekly, guys. If you look at this whole week, there's a lot of red in here. Very, very certain performers that are doing quite well, being one of those there on the weekly at 22.3. Let's go ahead and jump over and check out the liquidations for the past 24 hours. In the past 24 hours, 50,294 traders will liquidate. A total liquidations coming in at $112 million. Largest single liquidation happened on OKX. It's now 113 million. You guys just saw that change, didn't you? Single liquidation, $1.48 million on an ETH trade on OKX. So there you go. Economic calendar, nothing big here today, guys. Just new home sales month over month, and then new home sales for January. That is it. So it is a quiet front on the economic calendar today. Not expecting any shakeouts from any news dropping out of nowhere. So looking here at this, guys, on this is an article from Reddit. It's pretty interesting, I thought. I wanted to share it with you guys. Reddit joins the crypto club. New IPO filings reveals treasury exposure to Bitcoin, Ether, and MATIC. So just touch on this. In a filing for an initial public offering, IPO, the firm disclosed that it has invested its excess cash reserves into crypto assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, MATIC, to pay for virtual goods. The social media giant said it may continue this strategy in the future. So there you go, guys. Reddit getting into the scene. They were smart enough to know that we've got a bull run coming. This one here, this is a fantastic article. Well, there was an article here. There we go. There's the article. An ad popped in its place. Former U.S. President Trump no longer anti-Bitcoin. He says he can live with it. And we've got a little video about this. So let's go ahead and check out this video and see what he had to say here.
China obviously has its own push in the Chinese digital currency. But isn't the next logical step for you to embrace Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin obviously is decentralized. The government can't get its hands. What about Bitcoin with all the young people, including African Americans, who are very interested in it?
Well, a lot of people are doing it. I always liked one currency. I call it a currency. I like the dollar. But a lot of people are doing it. And frankly, it's taken a life of its own. You probably have to do some regulation, as you know. But many people are embracing it. And more I'm seeing people wanting to pay Bitcoin. And you're seeing something that's interesting. So I can live with it one way or the other. I've always liked one really powerful thing, and that's called the dollar.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Let's jump over here to the quad cam and let's talk about this for a second, because this is interesting. I mean, this guy was definitively anti-Bitcoin. He hated everything about crypto not that long ago. And the only thing that I can really recognize that has changed is the return of the valuation of the asset itself. That when it comes to money valuation, Donald Trump knows how to look at something and go, that has a value, and I see it right there. But the other one would be the video we showed not long ago here on the channel, where we showed Vivek dropping out of the presidential run, and then Donald Trump saying, you will see a lot of him in the future with us. So is it possible? What do you guys think? Is he just seeing the valuation of Bitcoin go up, or is he looking at this from the perspective of the little whispers coming into his ear from Vivek Ramaswamy? What do you guys think? I'd like to hear, Jenna, your take on it first.
Oh, yeah, Vivek's rubbing off on him a little bit, but how can he deny this? I mean, Donald Trump is very much TradeFly, and now you're seeing Wall Street invested into Bitcoin. I mean, how can he ignore this? It is a giant. So I'm so happy to see him acknowledging this. I mean, he has how much ETH? Like, we know that he made NFTs. He's had exposure to crypto. He knows that this is something that he's not going to stop. But yeah, okay. Regulation would be great to have, some clarity in the space, but this is a very bullish sign to me that he's warming up to it. Obviously he's strong on the dollar. I'm not, but I just think that this is good news. That was really great to hear.
Awesome. TradeFly OC, we'll go TradeFly first. What's your thoughts on this? Like, what's causing this transitional shift in sentiment about Bitcoin from Donald Trump? What do you think?
Yeah, so a couple things there. One, Jen already hit on it. Like, he already has exposure to crypto assets. Like, that's proven. He has NFTs out there. But one of my biggest things is Orange Man likes to make money, right? So he's not lying when he says he believes in the dollar and that's his asset of choice. He's being honest, but he's going to use crypto to make that money. So that's why he wants regulation on it. That's my main point and my main takeaway from that.
Kid Coleman says Trump should embrace Bitcoin because of its orangeness. So there you go. Little comedy there from the audience. OC guy, what about you, man? What do you think? Why is this happening? What has changed?
Well, first and foremost, I believe that he is a businessman, right? And then he is a showman because he has stated himself. And then he's a politician. So, I mean, we need to remember that from the very beginning, he has been raised for business, right? So when you have an increasing population asking for something, we've seen that this guy, I mean, and I say it with all due respect, has been able to provide to the masses. So, I mean, we know about all of the shows that he run. We know all about the businesses. He knows how to take advantage of trended things and make them into money. Remember how he had some buildings that they were just broken down. He just stamped his name on those buildings, like Trump buildings, and then just the price went up. I believe it's the same thing that is happening. He's seeing an opportunity of business, and also he's seeing how people embracing it. So it just makes sense for him to evolve with time, because business is like evolution. You either evolve or die.
I agree. So quick sentiment round here. I want to know, Jenna X, do you have Bitcoin in your portfolio?
I do now, yes. And now I have, honestly, I do now. Yeah. I know it's not going to give me the highest ROI, but I've made a commitment to weekly buying Bitcoin, no matter the price, just DCIing into it.
Okay, because we're going to actually talk about something that this is all relevant towards. So I am very glad to hear that since we talked last time, you now have gotten some Bitcoin into put some orange into that pink world over there that you live in.
Army paper. XRP didn't go to 10 grand yet per coin. So I mean, I had to do something.
I sold all of my XRP about 3 months ago, Jenna. So matter of fact, XLM and XRP both got transitioned over into Solana and Chainlink and something else. I can never remember what it was. But anyway, they've all gone up. Everything I put it into has gone up way more than my XRP. I still have faith in XRP. I still love the XRP army, but I don't think that this cycle or right now it is the big mover. And I'm looking for returns. So TradeFly, you got Bitcoin into your portfolio?
Nope, we've talked about it. I sold most of mine. I keep a lot of my assets in USD. I do have staked Ether. I'm always going to hold that for the long term, but I'm a trader. So I get in, I get out, I convert it to USD. That's how I like to protect my money because we've talked about that before. If it's in USD, then you have that FDIC insurance. So that's the big thing for me. So no Bitcoin on hand, but I do trade it. It's probably one of the main assets that I do trade.
Awesome. And OC, last up. Do you have Bitcoin in your wallet, in your portfolio?
Let me put it this way. All of my retirement savings are orange.
There you go. So I bring this up and we talk about this because there's a commonality between the exchanges, between the miners, and between TradeFly. Does anybody know what that is? It's going to be the lack of Bitcoin in their portfolio, guys. Check this out. So we talked about this last week. I showed you guys this, and this is the total Bitcoin on exchanges, okay? You can see it is just astronomically dropping. Exchanges do not have no crypto. It's being bought up by BlackRocks and, all of these exchanges, these ETF entities, right? They're buying up the Bitcoin. Well, it's not just them anymore. According to this latest report that I have here, if I can get this off here, thank you very much. Check this out. This is Bitcoin Monger put this out, and it said Bitcoin miners have been the most aggressive sellers in 2024 and likely the main cause of selling pressure since the ETF launch. This is ETF. This is miner Bitcoin. So balance in miner wallets of Bitcoin with the 7-day exponential moving average. Look, it's dropped dramatically in comparison as price goes up. So now exchanges don't have Bitcoin. We have a lack of Bitcoin at for the miners, right? Obviously, you got people like TradeFly who don't have any Bitcoin, which is okay. It's fine. If you're looking at the return valuation, probably not in Bitcoin. That's why I sold one Bitcoin and went into mining stocks, right? But Right now, we are at a this parabolic, this parabola, this crux, right? We have this thing going on with Bitcoin where there's no availability on with the miners. There's limited availability on the exchanges, and everyone's going to be wanting more Bitcoin going into the bull run. In about 60 days, we hit the halving event. And that means that the available Bitcoin mined per day, which is not enough right now, by the way. Right now, the demand per day of Bitcoin for buying compared to what is mined is like a 10x difference, 10x differential. So there's 10 times more orders for Bitcoin buys than what are being mined daily. That cuts in half in about 60 days. So what happens to Bitcoin price when we have 10 times the amount of demand, and then we get retail movement in because there's that parabolic rush in. Everybody starts FOMOing into Bitcoin. Grandma starts calling up going, Jenna, how do I get me some Bitcoin? I saw Trump talk about it. I'm just saying it's going to happen, right? What happens when we don't have the availability of Bitcoin, guys? I think it's going to be a very interesting bull run for demand and supply. And, this is called inflation. When you have high demand versus what is available for supply, you get inflation. This inflation would be an increase in the valuation of our Bitcoin and most likely other cryptos. Jenna, what's your thought on this? What are we going to see? How crazy could this get for price?
It could be completely insane. I think there's definitely going to be a scarcity shock. And I think that that's a narrative that will also play out. You'll see it all over mainstream news, especially now that Wall Street has their hands in it and all these ETFs, because, hey, they want to make money. They want to make their investors returns, right? And I think the FOMO is going to kick in at an all-time high. So that just tells me this price is going to go insane.
Absolutely. TradeFly OC. We'll go with OC first this time. OC, what's your thoughts on this? Are we going to see the most parabolic run ever on Bitcoin? Are you getting it? I know it. I know what he's doing. Here it comes.
All you got to do is watch the video. He already told you where this thing's going.
Go ahead.
Moonshot.
There we go. Tinfoil hat time. What you got, OC?
All right, let me do it very quick because I had a ton to say. I believe that we're going to have that demand, that shock of demand. Nonetheless, let me give you, and this is what I'm wearing this, please, this is an opinion. Take a look at where BlackRock has its tentacles on, right? Many of those things are nodes of Bitcoin, and they're also big pool miners of Bitcoin. Remember that when we see something as big as Apple being manipulated back in the past, we know that now that Bitcoin is like a toy for the traditional markets, right? It can be manipulated, and now it's on reach of these big companies. Just be careful. I do believe that this is going to happen because the only thing that they cannot manipulate it is how much Bitcoin there's going to be, right? But they can strangle the production, and also they can make not scarcity, but affect in a way the scarcity, right? So just be careful on that. And this is because we are in the fear and greed on extreme greed. All right. That doesn't mean that we're not going down, but guys, this is the one that is telling you that we're gonna get somewhere between 500,000 to 1.4 million Bitcoin by 2025. All right.
Yeah.
So one is not against the other, but that's what I think.
Real fast, if Crux or one of my wonderful mods, Alexander G, shout out to my queen mod, the mod queen over there. If one of you guys could drop the link to the 2025 Bitcoin price prediction video down there for anybody who hasn't seen, I suggest you watch that. OC actually made that call with layout of proving his thesis through technical analysis, historical trends, and a whole lot of math. The guy's a math genius. He laid out his call was between, he said, most likely $500,000, but potentially up to $1.4 million this bull run. So on a little extended bull run, he said that goes out to like early 2026, 1.4 million. So you guys should check that video out. But TradeFly, your call was $80,000 for the top side of Bitcoin on that video.
Yeah, it's 88. Yes, it could go as high as 90 to 100, but I think
based on this data that we're seeing right now of the shock, the supply shock, do you still stand by that? Do you still stand by 88,000?
I think we're already seeing it, man. Like, so one of the things that I look at when I look at Bitcoin on the chart is where were other assets at the same price point as Bitcoin? Everything else was infinitely higher. Like, go back, look at Cardano, go look at ETH and look at it at the same point in the chart, see where it's at now. You can see that it's not balanced. Like, Bitcoin has already moved faster than the rest of the assets. And I think this is part of it. We're seeing it right now. Does that mean it's going to go up to 500,000 to 1 million to me? Not necessarily, because I told you I'm a simple man. I take my line and I draw it across the chart. I go from high to high. I see where it goes. And I say there's going to be some sort of pullback at some point. We have to take that into account. I don't know that we're just going to rocket through it. But like that's 100% increase. Like, you got to understand the asset is doubling. What if the dollar just doubled in value? Like, think about that. Like, that's still insane to really think about. Like, Bitcoin even at $100,000 is awesome, right? That there's going to be a lot of wealthy people if it gets to 100,000. So, you know, I mean, could it? Yes, because supply is never going to increase and demand is continuously increasing. So I think realistically, the price of Bitcoin will continue to go up. There's no doubt about that to me. There's no doubt about it. It is a safe investment in my mind because it will go up. Is it going to go up to 500,000 or 1 million? I don't know, like, if that's going to happen in the next year or so, but like, could it get there at some point? Yeah, in our lifetime. I think that could happen.
Are you sure
Okay.
you don't want one, like, just in case?
I had like 3.5 at one point, but
He did.
I decided to move into real estate. So I bought some real estate and now I'm kind of rebuilding my bags. So unfortunately for me as a trader, it's easier to trade some of the altcoins because they move a little bit harder than Bitcoin. And that was kind of my strategy at one point without using a lot of leverage, right? So that's just kind of the way I approach it. I like to build my bags again, but don't worry. I guarantee you at some point, I'm going to be holding quite a bit of Bitcoin. It's just me building my bags again. So that's where I'm at right now.
I have kept one Bitcoin, and my wife has said, when I showed her all this, she said, "You're never selling that other Bitcoin." And I was like, "Yes, dear." So you know, that's how that works, right? Yes, ma'am. Jenna, any retort to the guys about what they had to say, or can we get into some TA?
No, get into that TA. I'm all about that tinfoil hat life, though. I like that. So I'm gonna have to watch that video.
Yeah, 2025 Bitcoin prediction. We're actually working on an Ethereum 2025 prediction video that we're going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. And one of the people that's doing that with us right here in the chat with us, Alex O Crypto. So shout out to the Otter in the house right now, and to Jenny from the blockchain also in here. Love seeing all of the gang. Shout out to all the viewers. Shout out to all the alumni. Love my alumni.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Let's go ahead and get into the TA side here, guys, and let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is what's going on with Bitcoin right here. So let me make a little adjustment here on my camera because it's wanting to do that one. There we go. There we go, guys. Bitcoin. We talked about this the other day. This was brought up specifically in the X Spaces. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. X Spaces that we did with Billy Goat Tales the other day. And they were talking about this demand in buy levels and the market depth and in the order books and the liquidity in the order books for Bitcoin, and how this was definitively looking at setting like this buying floor for Bitcoin. We're seeing it right here play out, guys. This 0.66 at 50,000, you can see how solid this has been as a base so far. And if we look at this, really, it's just been a range. Like, Bitcoin is turning into Chainlink right now when it comes to ranging, giving us this top and bottom. And every time we come down here, we hold this level. And I put this green box down here because I thought it could go down as far as the blue delta here on the predictive ranges, but we're just really holding tight on the 0.66 right now. Until we break this line, I'm going to be super, super bullish on the market floor bottom being locked in and being having some validity, because if we look at what's going on right now on the Oscillator Pro 4-hour time frame here, we are starting to get that upturn there. We're getting the small candles. This is getting ready to make another move up out of this 30% range of the RSI Prime. Pretty low here on the Oscillator Pro, and that's going to give us another move up. I am going to be watching for it to reject off of that 0 line, but hopefully the candle prices are back up here again at that top trade band of the predictive ranges. If we take a look at this on the daily and take a look at what's going here, we are kind of creating this little flag motion up here, and that flag motion would put us up to a $61,000 breakout. We are getting down to the bottom of the cloud on the daily, and a lot of times when we get into this range of the oscillator cloud here that's behind the ribbon, we do tend to trend within the cloud. So it does look like we could be looking at that also. And you can look here, we have cooled off on the Oscillator Pro. We're starting to get these big red candles back to the downside. But during a bull market, we typically, if we go back here and look at the previous cycle, since we're on a daily, it won't be that hard. Let me get back there and I'll show you what typically happens here with that RSI Prime when it hits in these ranges. We typically can go really, really well. Let me get back there. There we go. We can typically just keep bouncing. You see this little cool down and then it comes back up. That's what we're seeing right now on the current time frame, is that cool off, and it looks like it's going to hit that 70% line for another move up. This looks a lot like pre-halving cycle last cycle. I'm just saying. So taking a look here at the Eric Wallen chart. Shout out to Eric Wallen because he knows I love this chart. He's always talking about my chart. I named it after him. It's also called the Cycle Sniper, just so you know. We are doing quite well here, still in phase 3, guys. This is a 1-week candle of Bitcoin. That's it. That's your price activity on the weekly candle right there. Nothing exciting. We are still sitting at the top of this. We've already tested the 0.66. Typically, we do quite well after that happens, and we'll see. We're 60 days away, Bitcoin halving. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly. We're going to go TradeFly today first, and then we'll move to OC. And Jenna, if you have any assets you want us to take a look at, I'm going to come back to QuadCam. We'll talk about your favorite projects, and we'll do some TA on them. TradeFly, you're up, bro.
Right on. Cool. I got Polygon MATIC on the daily. Let's talk about that a little bit. So one of the things we pointed out to you guys was a potential cup and handle right here. You can see that's still in play. That could play out. I want to go back and kind of look at it though. You can see this formation right here, kind of looking cup and handle-ish, but you know, it kind of consolidated for a while, but ultimately it did make a press up before it got rejected at about $1, right? So we talked about the dollar. That's a significant area of psychological, right? It's a psychological number. So you know, people are going to sell off when it gets to $1 because what do? They put a long entry in, and then where are they going to exit? They'll just probably put a flat dollar and then they'll get out. So now we've already retested it though, right? So those people that were getting out of those positions, since we've retested it a couple times at this point, those people have kind of moved on a little bit. So now we're kind of waiting to see if we break that area. Now you can see here, I already have the line still up from the last time we talked about it. So we're going to revisit it just a little bit. What I want to see now is us to actually break this area of about $1, come back down, get that retest, and look for that continuation to the upside. Now, if the cup and handle plays out that we've been talking about, you can see that's going to go to about $1.20. So again, let's look for that break of this area of $1. We'll come back left on the charts and see what this lines up with. And yeah, about $1.19 to $1.18, somewhere in that area. We're just looking at the chart, seeing where we saw previous resistance. So that's very much in play. Now, if it doesn't play out for us, what are we going to look for? It's probably going to pull back somewhere in the area of, I'll say about 88 cents, but this is the higher confluence area right now. We have the dynamic reactor. We have a bunch of the moving averages, the 20, the 50, the 100, all in this area right here at about 83 cents. So that would probably be where I would set an alert. If we get a pullback, that would probably be an area to look for going long. As we're coming down to the prime oscillator, you got to take that into account. We did get into an overbought situation. We did talk about that a little bit, and this is what we'll be looking for. So you see kind of from previous technical analysis, I'll move it over for you just a little bit, but what you see right now is the oscillator going down and right. Not the best sign. That's why I think we can continue this pullback before we actually see some of this movement up and right. But this is what we'll be looking for on the prime oscillator. So if you guys are trying to, you know, get ahead of it, this is what you'll be looking for. You want to see a twist of the ribbon and the oscillator going back up and right. And this area would probably be a likely area to see a bounce. But again, this is kind of like I'm going to set an alert area because that's where I'd be more interested in getting into position. So that's what I got on MATIC.
Fantastic. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Mac Tire. Mac Tire buying 5 memberships for the alumni in here. Shout out to our newest members, Duffy Newman, Jonathan Schaefer. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome to the alumni. Donato Cabrera, Ernest Lee, and Clarence Slade all picking up those gifted memberships from Mac Tire. So shout out to Mac Tire, man. Love my alumni.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
OC, what you got for me, bro? Let's go ahead and take a look at what you have on your charts, and then we're going to come back to Quad Cam. We're going to talk to Jenna X, see what she likes for her portfolio. We're going to take a look at some of her TA and see what she's seeing.
Absolutely. I want to get started very quick on Bitcoin and then just wrap it up with Atom, because there's something that I need to be aware of. Remember that this is what I'm expecting at this area, and this is both based on technicals and also on a pullback that that TradeFly has been also talking about, and I also believe that is healthy for the markets, right? So amount of pullback that I believe that we're going to be seeing, or even the worst case scenario, dynamic reactor coming strong below this area right here. So as you can see, we are bouncing, or we are kind of like a flipping down following this ranging motion that I'm expecting. Nonetheless, if we also take a look at this other charting here, you'll see, this other one, sorry. You'll see that we have a trend line going up here. Let me see if here we go. Trading View wants to, here we go. This is it. Trading View wants to work. And this trend line also is telling me that we could be reaching just slightly upper to something around 55,900. So I am patiently waiting, especially now that we are flipping down on the ribbon and approximate, or we're going to hit that zero line. So I already have bought, and I'm also trying to, in fact, I am hedging this little range to wherever it goes. This is to be tied to Atom. This is another one that I've been looking for, and as you can see, I have an alert right here. I have a little bit of my analysis here. Just bear in mind of this area right here that I'm going to be cleaning up, and also this previous bounce that I was expecting. So let's just clean this one up. And let me show you or tell you that I already have entered into a spot buy on Atom. This is going to my hodl back, and this is because it had already went too close to my alert. Yes, that alert was especially close, but it did not ring. Nonetheless, I did already got some of that Atom for the long run. Sorry. So let me drop here some important indicators, and I want to show you this. We have a channel, beautiful channel, crisp and clean, breaking with moderate volume, basically going down to a loud order block. Remember that the loud order blocks are the strongest of them all, right? Harder to break. So that's exactly what I'm looking for, entering a crazy support. Then look at that flip of the ribbon, going up on volume, or basically momentum, but staying right there. So we are struggling. That's why it was a spot buy, because my strategy is telling me enter at crazy support. But my trading strategy tells me it is not about the breakout, it's about the retest, but we are not moving at all. Another thing that I want to make you guys aware of is that we are making a downwards channel, and usually those channels breaks to the upside. How far? Well, we have another order block right here. And as you can see, this acts not only as a magnet, but also as a resistance. So I could be expecting maybe a dead cat bounce before we go down. If that happens, I might be selling half of my backing here and trying to re-enter as we go back somewhere around this area. So far, we are bearish, but we are turning bullish. All right. So I am seeing some bullishness or lack of bearishness in this bearish consolidation. All right. But nonetheless, just to make sure that I'm also going to be ready if we bounce off that zero line. So that's what I got on Atom. Piper, turning back to you.
Awesome. Yeah, let's jump over to the quad cam here. Jenna X, we're going to get to your portfolio picks that you're really bullish on. We're going to take a look at the TA and do some TA for you on those. And then also, I want to give a shout out to in our audience right now. T-Shroom's in the audience. He said Comp is making a breakout right now. So maybe one of you guys want to pull that one up. And then shout out also to Blockchain Crusader over there at Trade Wars, at Crypto Wars. He's in the house right now with us, and Trade Intuition. Joe, who was just on your show recently, Jenna. So shout out to everybody in the house right now. Love seeing other members of the crypto content creation community out there, the YouTube creation community in here hanging out, because that's what we're all about, Givers Gain. We are all about bringing more of these content creators together. That's why OC has so many emojis popping up over there from like Lunar Beaches and Otter. Maybe you got to get a big pink X that pops up behind you also for Jenna, man. Jenna,
that is a cool one. I'll make that one.
Jenna, what do you have? What do you have on your portfolio that you're super bullish on that people may not be looking at, may not be seeing? Because sometimes you and I, we share these little things back and forth, like, hey, Jenna, you might want to check SNCC. What are you looking at right now?
I've been buying all of the SHX dips every time that dips down, and we just had daily candle close at green. So I think that we have retraced, and we're going to come back up again on SHX, which is Stronghold, which is IBM. It's a Stellar token. A lot of times the Stellar ecosystem is overlooked, but they are building out. I got in with a super low market cap on that. I think I've already done a 20x, but I do keep adding to that. I think it'll do really well. Also Aqua, it's another token that is in the Stellar ecosystem, super low market cap on that as well. So definitely check that out. And
you said that was called
right
Aqua?
Now with Aqua. Yeah.
And where are you getting that on Pancake Swap or something?
No, so it's a Stellar token, so you can get that on Stellar Term or like the
got
Lobster
it.
wallet. You
Yeah,
gotta
there's
do
not a lot. I was going to say
things
there's
to
not a
get
lot
these.
of charts for it.
Yeah, I had to pull out the old Lobster wallet, but I think that'll do well with the introduction of AMMs on Stellar Network and everything. So it's just those ones that you hold and then you look at and you're like, oh wow, that popped off. And yeah, so right now on Mexi, I entered into a spot trade a little while ago on XCN, and I can share that chart of what I'm looking at for that.
Yeah, do that, and we'll bring you up here on it. So let me go to guest screen, and then I'm going to assign that chart right now. Give me 1 second, and we'll bring it up. Let people check you. Jenna X screen. There we go. Jenna, you have a chart. Let's go.
I do have a chart. I have a chart with all the things on. Yeah, so I'm looking at XCN. I did get in a little while ago. Actually, it was close to when I got the strong indicator on Chart Prime, and I'm looking at the 4 hour at 0012. And I've kind of been following. I think it's kind of flagging out again, and it looks like it could be making a measured move before too long, up to 0.0022 approximately, but it also could continue. But that's just like the first measured move that I'm thinking. I found a hidden continued bullish on the daily with that. So that's one that's been on my radar. Would love for you to check that one out as well and tell me your thoughts. And also looking at PYTH, it looks bullish to me on the daily, just looking to find my exact entry. So do you want me to pull that one up as well?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, pull that one up, and then we'll start. I'll take a look at XCN when we come back in here, and then I'll take a look at Comp for T-Shroom because you said it's breaking out, and then we'll start back to the rotation. So yeah, pull up what you want to pull up. Show us what you're working with over there, Jenna.
Show you what I'm working with. All right, this could be potentially coming down. I don't know if you guys play patterns or not into a cup and handle, but
we just showed a cup and handle recently on Polygon MATIC, so I think it was. So yeah.
Yeah, a nice little retracement on PYTH. Money flow is still green up here. Obviously, it's not like a 9 or anything like that for the prime score on the daily, but I am keeping my eye on it because I think it's been a pretty bullish token. So everything still looks good. So I'm just waiting for a little bit more possibly of a retracement on that, but it did come down already to the golden pocket. So just watching that, but would love to know any of your thoughts there as well on my charting, because I'm a newbie, so
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'm looking at the daily right now on XCN. So let me go ahead and jump over here to my chart and we'll take a look at this. And then, yeah, if one of you guys want to pull up comp, TradeFly, if you want to pull up comp, or unless you have something else pulled up, then we'll get into that one after this because T-Stream was just talking about that. So,
yeah, I
let's
pulled
go
up. He was also talking about Uniswap, so I pulled that up
Okay.
actually.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we'll do that then.
Yeah.
Look at here, laying some fibs out here, Jenna. I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my, because that's my trade strategy one. We want that on the golden pocket. There we go. Yeah, we're fighting 382 right now. If you look at it from this range, if you go ahead and take out the outlier of this massive crazy wick here and bring it to the bottom here, we're actually seeing that right now we're getting support on the 236. So that's what I'm looking at for the range there. What I would like to see, and it's going to be dependent upon the continuation here, but on the daily chart, we're starting to get a little bit of curvature here on the ribbon. You can see we're starting to get these small candles on the RSI prime, which means it's getting the downside is slowing down. It's about to get green candles again because these are Heikin-Ashi candles of an RSI prime line turned into Heikin-Ashi candles. So you get really, really cool things happening, like when it starts to get flat here and the candles got thin. That's when we started to see the move up, and you can see as the green candle started to come in higher and higher, then we popped off, right? What I would like to see here is that we get this again, and you can see this can pump all the way up on the RSI to like 95, 96.15. So there's still a lot of movement here. We're getting all the support here on the 236 with the dynamic reactor running in there. I'd like to see this curve back up. These candles start to go a little bit green, and then look for a run up to that 50% line. That is our previous resistance back here. There's really not much going on the 382 besides this point. That was broken already, so it should be easier to come back through that door again. So I'm going to be watching for that move once this starts to curve here, once we start to get these candles to turn green here and move off of these flat reds, another run back up to that 50% line, which is coming in at 0.002. And that's what I would watch for there on XCN based on what I'm seeing on the daily chart for that. So TradeFly, let's kick it over to you, man.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, so I got Uniswap pulled up.
Got chemtrails.
I do. The chemtrails are up. Let me hide them for a second, though, because these are one of those moments that I look back at Chart Prime and I kick myself in the butt. Dude, I don't know if you realize that how powerful Chart Prime is on the weekly. So looking at this, so I have it identified a channel, right? It does it all by itself, which is amazing. And it broke out. So it gives you a little pattern break indication right here with the green bubble. It breaks out. It gives you smart targets. Well, we've already hit 3 of the smart targets, but what we're coming up to right now is a horizontal area of resistance. You guys know I love that. Now let's actually turn on the chemtrails. You got those turned on, and look, you can see that right there in the middle of that box. You can see that there is going to be an area of resistance, and it's an area that has high volume associated, right? So there's a lot of selling pressure in that area. So it could push up, I would say, probably up to about 1289 or so. However, we are getting to that initial area of the box, and all I'm doing is going back left on the chart. You guys know my game at this point, and I'm looking to see where we found previous areas of resistance. So it's going to be somewhere in this area. We're at a significant area for Uniswap because what you can see right now is we have an area of support. Look at these massive wicks coming off of this area right now. That means there was buying pressure at that point. I always look for that. We came down, we did the retest, we found support, and then the breakdown, and then we came back up and we got confirmation that what was support is now resistance. So we're coming up and we're flirting with that right now. I wish I was ahead of it. When I come back, I look at the charts. I didn't even have Uniswap on one of the it wasn't even on my ticker. I wasn't even watching it, to be honest with you. So that's a miss. But coming down and looking at it, let's see, like if we go back, right? One of the big things with TA, let's go back and learn. Let's see how we could have caught this. And when we go back, we look at this right here, right? So this is telling us that, hey, we're ready to kind of flip the trend. And then I'm looking at the RSI going up and right. You see this? You see how you start getting the momentum going up and right on the prime oscillator or RSI? It's basically the same. All right, so it comes down, you get that retest of this area of support right here, but you see the oscillator is going up and right. That's usually a good sign. And then it actually printed some bullish divergence right here. That's what this little green line is here. So price is actually moving down, RSI is moving up. And then we got it to start moving. It moved, it came up, it retested this area of resistance, and then we had the breakout. So always go back and look. I mean, you don't have to keep a journal. I recommend keeping a journal, but you always want to go back and see. But one of the things that you'll see as a common trend when I'm like, hey, like we had this breakout, or hey, we saw this movement, is this right here. This is one of my favorite things to look for when I'm looking at getting into a long entry. So that's a quick look at Uniswap. We're at an area of resistance. I wouldn't long in at this point. I would wait for it to break. Same thing that we always preach to you guys. You want to see it break, come down, retest, and then look for that continuation up and right.
Yeah, for anybody watching right now, if you don't know how to do a journal, I would check out Trade Intuition's channel. He actually has some really good videos on journaling for trading. So go check him out. If one of my wonderful mods could drop a link down there for Trade Intuition's channel, that would be awesome. But yeah, guys, go check out his videos. He's got some good stuff on journals if you guys are curious how to do that. Yes, and we're going to be taking a look at AGIX. I see it's up 18.79%, going across the bottom of the screen right there right now. We'll take a look at that. But first, we're going to go over to OC Guy. What you got for us, man?
Absolutely. So I was looking at two things, AGIX. Yes.
Nailed it.
In fact, AGIX was requesting it. I was pulling up Shiba because I do see a triangle pattern that might be blowing up, but let's take it out for the next round. At this point, let's take a look at this one. It's just have a high volume. Look at that. Usually when we have high volume, we are not waiting for retest. So we did not have that retest on the channel and we blew up. If we go back, just take a look at that. We are on daily and we are on all-time highs. There's nothing left back there, right? So we are on uncharted territory. So for that, let's do two things. First of all, let me pull up some predictive indicators. For that, I'm going to bring up my predictive ranges. Here we go. And since we moved very, very fast, we're going right now for a new section of predictive ranges, right? Remember, as soon as we break the purple line, it is not a rule, but it just happens so often. Now, I would even venture to say that it happens over 80% of the times that when we break one of those purple lines and we do a restructuration of those lines, we almost always go find the blue line. That doesn't mean that we stop at the blue line, but we go cross it or at least touch it. So that gives you instant direction on what it is going to keep going, all right? And that is important. So the next thing I'm going to be looking at, it is the golden line in here, because the most important zone, it is between the two golden lines and between them, and then between any other line and the golden one. So I'm looking at this area right here, which it is indicating me that I might still have a little bit more way to go, but I am definitely not chasing after prices, and I will not be entering on anything that doesn't have a pullback. All right. So if it's gone, it's gone. Let's move forward to take for the next one. All right. But maybe how far up or could we be going? For that, I'm going to pull out a little bit of knowledge from Piper Academy, and especially Army Piper. And let's bring up here, let me zoom out, some Fibonacci tools. So let me turn this one off in here. Also, let's take a look at this other one and go to my layers. I already have pulled them up, so I don't do any other user error. Let's get started with a Fibonacci retracement here. On this retracement, you'll see that I'm going from this low to the previous all-time highs, but extended it to my right, all right? So we are right at the 618, and we are basically, or we could basically be stuck in here. But also something interesting is that we had almost the full retracement. It's been taking place right between the 618 and the 382 there. So let's just bear that in mind, and then let's hit it or hide it, and then take a look at another Army Piper strategy, which it is the trend-based Fibonacci. So what we tried to do, or what Piper had taught me to do, it is how to push or keep pushing the golden areas right here. So you can see that we broke one, we hit one, we are breaking it, but we have the full retracement, all right? And where is my golden line? So I might be expecting for maybe a little bit more movement, like here to the upside, and maybe do either a bull flag or a pennant. And just to wrap it up, let's take a look at here, and maybe we can put another meme here, another sticker, because right here we have a well-known pattern that it is called the goose head or the dog face. So let me show you how it is looking. As you can see, we have the neck, the little head, and the beak right here, and we can even draw its little eyes, right? So if we take a look at the previous price action, and this usually repeats over and over and over, that's why I'm pretty excited about this one. We'll see that when we have a sharp point or sharp FOR, flip of the ribbon, we have a retracement. But when we start having that dog face or let's just call it duck face. We kind of have that.
It's duck face. We're gonna get you a picture of a girl doing duck face, and we'll pop it up there every time you bring it up.
Let's make a sticker for the 4 of us doing duck face. That'll be fair. That'll be fair. With big fat, like red lips.
Love it.
All right, vote on that if we can have it voted. Yeah. So look at that. We're going for that little retrace on the dog face, and then boom, blasting for a little bit more, right? So that's what I'm expecting at this point. That's why I'm basing this little bull flag or what it could be happening for a potential movement to the upside in here. So you'll see that we could be retracing and then going up like that. That's what I'm expecting, unless we hit the red cloud. In that case, we are going down for the next golden pocket right down here.
Yeah, real fast. I do want to show one thing on AGIX also, because we showed this earlier last week, I believe, looking at AGIX. And I showed you guys these previous points here that were creating this trend line. Looking at the daily chart here, we had a point back here in September of 2021. And we had a point here in February 8th of 2023. And I said, hey, watch this level, guys. Well, if you take a look at the 4-hour, what has happened here on that level, that's running straight off those trend lines. We literally, we got above it. We had a little fight, got above it, and then we stayed above that before this next launch up. Now getting a retracement back. I'm going to be watching for a retest here on the hourly. This retest, which we're getting right now, on that phase 2 618 at 78.3 cents. If we take a look at what we're seeing on the oscillator here, it does look like pull back, which could be this little pullback that we're getting right now. But again, there's that duck face. You see the last time we had it, went sideways. Maybe we're going to see that again here. Duck face, sideways move there. And if we take a look at the daily of what's going on the oscillator pro down here, you will see we could be getting a pullback to hit that red line again. Like he was saying, stay in the red, stay out of that red, and we should be good on that. So TradeFly, I'm going to be coming back to you, but I want to do comp real fast just to take a look at it. Jenna, you got anything for you want us to take a look at? We got about 8 minutes before we wrap up the show. So if you got anything that you want to show or you want us to show, go ahead and let me know which while we're doing comp here. So. Let me look for comp. I just had it up here, guys. There we go. Look at it, comp. Bam. If we look at the comp here right now, we are seeing that we are getting this little twist of the ribbon here on the daily, this little flip of the ribbon right before the red, like OC was just talking about on AGIX. Does look like we're getting to some green here, and we are getting a retracement back about 50% on the candle. Happens a lot of times. I tell you guys, watch for those retracements back on that daily. It usually retraces about 50%, and that's a good entry point. I'm actually watching this zero line bounce on the 4-hour right now. This could be indication that we have more upside coming. 50% retracement of the candle is very bullish when it holds that, because that we a lot of times will get that pullback of 50% and then it will continue up. If we go and take a look at what we're having here, we are above that trade bands. And as you can see, the trade bands of the predictive ranges that OC was just talking about, we were pretty much in between the upper gold trade band and that delta median for top and bottom ranging. We had a little previous wick up here. I do believe that this candle is at least going to wick up to that upper resistance to grab liquidity above that. And then we will see if it comes back to retest and hold in that range. But right now, things looking pretty bullish on comp. It is getting a little bit of a breakout. I'm sure that we are going to go up for a liquidity run. Let me move that line there for a liquidity run up there at 68.44 cents for that previous candle. Jenna, you got anything for us, or do you want you want us to just listen in?
Yeah, no, I'm totally good listening. But will you peep MTV for me and meme? Actually, if you have time to look at meme, that would be awesome.
What was it? Meme and what?
MTV.
MTV,
I
like
trade weird things.
like I want my MTV. Okay,
Bro.
Yeah.
TradeFly, I'm gonna kick it over to you.
Yo,
You
who
can
didn't
go
watch
ahead and grab
MTV
your-
back in the 90s? Let's go.
Right? Hey, I'm going to MTV right now. I want my MTV.
Right on.
And we will check this out.
And there you go. I done moved the fibs. I know
Lock
he's gonna
your
give it-
fibs, fool. There's
He's going to give it to me now. I
literally
know it.
a sticker for it.
All right. Mark, I hope he's damn, he's in there too. Shit.
He
All
is. You know he is.
There
He's
it is.
gonna
He's gonna give it to me. All right. Anyways, I locked him. See, I did it. All right. So Coinbase, it's gonna be a quick hitter. All right. So we've kind of been talking about Coinbase. We were looking at this area of support. We did get you got a little bounce off of that area of support, but that's not really where I'm concentrating. All right. So I got two areas identified for you. It's at the 382. You got my airplane right here. I got medium confidence in this area, but it is lining up with both the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. So we do have confluence. That's good, right? We can look for a bounce there and you can make a small play, maybe intraday kind of thing. But this is the area I'm really going to keep an eye on, and it's closer to the golden pocket, right? So that's why I have my rocket, and then you have the 100-day moving average. You have the dynamic reactor. There's a lot of the confluence here in this area at the 618. You're looking at about 115. So somewhere in that area, 115 is going to be an area I would set an alert. And then let's go ahead and pull up the chemtrails. We got the chemtrails up, and there you go. See this blue? We've talked about this blue before. When you see this area of blue lined up with something like the 618 and the dynamic reactor, I'm setting an alert. All right. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that actually right now if I can actually click it, and I can't. So anyways, I'm going to set an alert there at the 618.
If you could.
Yeah, I got too much stuff going on right now. So somewhere, I think I'm going to look probably at about 118. That'll be the area I'm going to set an alert. That's a high interest area for me. Again, I'm a swing trader, so you can try to find something on a smaller time frame if you want. I would look for a bounce here, 382, and then this is where I would probably look to stack some bags at about 118.
Awesome. I'm going to jump over and check out this MTV, and then I think we're going to talk it out because I think that's going to be about it on time. Let's jump over here. MTV, looking at multivac right now, 4 hour. You guys can see here we do have the predictive ranges. Again, trade band, gold to gold, delta median in the middle. You guys can see how well this played. We did have some breaks up here, but for the most part, trading in between that lower trade band and that delta median, okay? We are sitting right now above the trend assistant, which is a very bullish thing. There's not enough history on here for right now in the 4 hour for us to have a dynamic reactor. But if we jump over here, let's go turn this on and see what we get. There we go. And I'm on the 1 hour now to let this load in. We should have a 1 hour that we're sitting above on that dynamic reactor. There we go. Sitting right now above that dynamic reactor, above the delta line on there. One thing of note that I want to point out here is if we come over here back to the 4 hour, we do have a trend line auto printed by Chart Prime running up right now. And if we do not hold that delta line, watch for the pullback to that trend line right there at about 0.0016 before another bounce up. Right now, though, sitting above that delta, my next target would be up here. Let's go ahead and drop on that up here, by the way. I like to give prices for the people that are listening on their drive right now to work to the fiat mine. It's going to be at 0.0025, so 0.0025 cents. Taking a look here. What we have on fibs, because I got some locked fibs on here, we are fighting on that 236 right now. And that's why I said we might get a pullback to that trend line again because of that fib line there. You can see we are also overbought on the oscillator and starting to get those bigger Heikin-Ashi red candles to the downside. Does look like it might get a rejection off of here for that downward movement back to that trend assistant there and that trend line in line, giving us double confluence for support. But if we do break above that 236, your next level is going to be 0.0021 on that 382 Fibonacci. That would give us a very, very hot overbought zone again, and we could get a little bit higher in the RSI, but historically we can get up as high here as about 92.3, which is quite a bit above where we are right now in the RSI. So we could get some more upside to this, Jenna. So there you go. Let's jump back to the quad cam and let's talk it out. Guys, good show today. Jenna, thank you so much for joining me on Piper Academy today. It's been an honor to host my wingman on here. So You're muted.
Thank you so
Oh, there you go.
much. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was so much fun. I learned so much as always. It was a great time. So thank you, my wingman. I appreciate you.
Always, always love it. TradeFly OC, you got anything for the people? Actually, Jenna, do you have anything for the people here at the alumni? Any words of wisdom from Jenna X?
Tell them where we can find you.
Oh, yeah. So at Jenna X Crypto on Twitter and Jenna X Media on YouTube. And guys, just use your common sense and buy red, not green. And, be careful. Keep watching Piper Academy.
Awesome. Yes. And all of her links are down in the description below. TradeFly OC, what you got for the people, man?
Hey, as always, love mixing it up with everyone in the chat. Hey, for me, don't buy red, buy the chemtrails. All right. You see those lines going across? Those are my areas to go along. So, but hey, it's Friday. Everyone have a great weekend. It's, as always, it's awesome mixing it up. So with that, I'm out over to OC and then the outro.
Guys, we need to go raid another server. So I'm just going to say that we just hit alert on AI. So, oh, nice. So we just hit alert on AI, the neckline of my house, my head and shoulders lines. So go check that one out. And also, please like and subscribe. Trade to you, Piper.
Awesome. Sounds great, man. Let's get out of here. Guys, thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget, if you got any value out of this content today, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, and share this with a friend so that they too can have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. It is Friday. You guys have a safe weekend. Remember, low volume can move targets really, really quickly. So price could be a little volatile this weekend, especially with the pullbacks that we had this morning. We'll be back here Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use the stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off. To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!